We explained France's move towards absolutism during the Wars of Religion. After the 100 Years' War removed English claims to the French throne, the House of Valois continued to expand their power over French institutions and pushed aside feudalism to strip more and more power away from the French nobles. The Valois took power over collecting taxes, declaring war, and meting out justice. They established a standing army to replace the ranks of knights that had been loyal to the nobility, and provided them with uniforms, hospitals, and government pensions. In many cases, they would use the new gunpowder technology to destroy the castles of nobles who dissented to their new authority. They also gradually began to dissolve the role of the Estates General after the body had interfered with royal succession in matters of state. The House of Valois was creating a model of absolute monarchy for the rest of Europe to follow. There was to be no more balance between kings and nobility in the old feudal system. From now on, all power and decisions would be made by the monarch. This move towards absolutism was pushed by several key factors. There was the mistrust of nobles who'd sided with the English during the 100 Years' War, competition with the Habsburgs for control of Italy and the role of protector of the Catholic Church, and also the rising Reformation tensions as Calvinism continued to grow among the population. The tension with the Habsburgs increased as France unsuccessfully tried to invade Italy over the reign of 3 Valois kings. As the monarchy took more and more control, the nobility began turning to Protestantism despite a deeply Catholic French population. The Protestant beliefs increased during the French Renaissance as secular and Christian humanism began to spread. Much of the Protestant activity in France became concentrated in the West and the South. The followers of French Calvinism called themselves Huguenots. The movement was fed by the Waldensians, who began printing the Bible in French, despite the papacy's order that the Bible only be in Latin. In the center of all this was Catherine de' Medici, Catholic queen to Henry II, although Henry preferred the company and advice of his mistress, Diane de Poitiers. But then Henry died during a jousting match when a jousting staff splinter went through his eye. 15-year-old Francis II and Mary Queen of Scots took the throne. Immediately, Mary's uncles, the Guise family, seized power over the teenage rulers and used the power to persecute Protestants, who in turn launched an uprising against the royal family. The Huguenot revolt was led by the Bourbons, who were led by the Prince of Condé and also Admiral Coligny. After Francis died, Mary returned to Scotland, and the uncles continued the war, despite Catherine de' Medici's work toward having a peaceful coexistence in France. Catherine became regent as her second son, the new King Charles, was only 9 years old. Catherine tried to keep the peace, but then Francis Guise and Cardinal Lorraine attacked a Protestant church meeting at Vassy, killing 50 of 500 worshippers. Catherine tried to prevent war. Despite her efforts, Condé and Guise began taking over towns in an open civil war, until Guise was assassinated at Orléans. The Habsburgs bankrolled the Catholic side, the English crown, German princes, and Bourbon Navarre rulers backed Condé and de Coligny. The spiritual leader of the Protestants was said to be Jeanne d'Albret, Queen of the Navarre. The table was set for a large French civil war.